Okay. So concept name here is outbound interface. So we have to send the data out from Oracle applications. So this is called as a outbound. It is just one line statement. It is outbound means data will go out from Oracle applications. So we'll use here UTL means it is utility. It is utility file. It is. So we'll have common procedures and functions inside of it. So we can go to Toad here. These are all inbuilt. Okay, you don't need to write much code on it. So simply you have to pass the parameters for this. Like you have to use here UTL file dot f open. F means file you have to open here in the server. Whenever you open a file name, then only you can write a data inside of it. So these are all the parameters. If you look at here, see location. If it is not properly visible, what you can do? You can press F4 here and you can see. So here is a place. Right now it is not showing anything. You can click on body here, body. Okay. You can toggle between specification as well as body in any package. So now you are clicking on body. Like here is the place. You can see here F open. These are all utility functions here. Functions, procedures, you can see here. P means procedure. And then after that, there is only one function is available here. Get POS kind of thing. But rest all procedures almost. Now what you can do, F open you can use. It is a function here. At the left hand side, they have indicated here F. F means function here. P means procedure, F means function. Okay. So it has to return always value. That's why they have taken a function over here. Now it has couple of parameters here. One is location, where you want to generate the file. That's a location here. The second one is file name. What is your file name? File name also explicitly you have to give, and then open mode here. We'll have various modes here. If you go up little, you can see all the modes. So earlier we had only a few modes here: read, write, and append. Only three modes earlier, but they have introduced some more modes recently here. So mostly we'll use here write mode in this case. Write. We are writing a data in the file. That's why mode is here write. And file name here is including extension you have to give. Otherwise, it will not be in a readable mode here. So that's why they mentioned here including extension. The next is directory location of a file. So company to company, it will vary directory. That is based on the DBA. Sometimes what we can do, or majority of the cases, the directory will be here. It will be already mentioned. That's a predefined directory. That's a $V parameter. Is a table name. It's a data dictionary table name where name like UTL. So this is the directory we have to keep it here. If you want to generate any file in your machine, it may be a path, maybe a different. In my machine, it is different here. Based on the installation, it is. Okay. So right now, in this path only, we have to generate the files here. That's an outbound directory it is. So now take this directory. Then after that, so what you can do, like you can put over here in the form of parameters here. So first parameter name we can see here, that's file name, file directory. So you have to check F open. So it's the location, in which location you want to generate. So the location we already identified here. With the help of this, we identified the location. In this location only we have to generate it. So we already had a path. Let's minimize it in this path. So there are many paths here, temporary paths. So if there are any programs and all, it will take away your program. So we should not use this. Wherever you see outbound, that only we have to take, not temporary directories. Remember this. So only this we have to use it. So this is the first parameter. And the second parameter is file name. So file name you may get dynamic name or static name. Third parameter is open mode. So what we are going to do here after opening a file, we are writing a data, correct? So that mode here is write mode. We have to use it here. Now next maximum line size. So maximum line size, if you want to pass, you can pass it. Else by default, it is a null value. It is default null value. It's an optional parameter. It is. So we have to pass here only three parameters: location, file name, open mode. That's it. So that's about the F open. So after opening a file, we have to write the data. So that for writing, what we can do, UTL file log put line it is. So there is one more option, put line. So put line will have here couple of parameters. Okay. Put line where you can see, you can check here. This is a procedure. Whether it is a procedure or function, we have to check. Sometimes it may not return a value. Okay, at that time, procedure also we can take it. Procedure and function, you can understand the difference over here. Okay. Now file name, buffer here, and then auto flush. These are all false by default. It has taken. If you want to know what is this parameters and all about, you can go a little up here. You can see they have clearly written all the description of all the input parameters. Okay. If you have a time, you can go through all this so that you can get an idea. Now, next is after writing a data, we have to close the file. Then only we'll be able to open the file. Otherwise, it will not be a not open mode or not readable mode. It is F close. So these three only will use. One is opening a file. Other one is after opening, we have to write the data. Next one is closing the file. It is. So are you clear with this? Okay. Now, while doing operations, actually, if you keep your own path, which is not available in Oracle apps, then it has to go into exception here. So that exception is called as an invalid path. Invalid path it is. And if you don't give file extension, then invalid file name. And if you don't give a mode, which is mentioned in the list. So I already told you modes are here is three modes. One is a read mode and write mode, and one more is append mode. If you mention some other modes which is not available here, then it will get into exception that is called as an invalid mode it is. Whatever I'm putting here, these are all exceptions. Okay. So you need to terminate your program with the exceptions. So you can go here. I already opened one script. You can go to exception straight away. Here is the place. You need to put all this into a sequence. Okay, sequence is mandatory here. One is invalid operation. Okay, if you pass any wrong parameters, then it will go and fire into this particular exception here. The second one here is invalid path. The next is here invalid mode. Okay, invalid file handle is for exceptions here, file extension. Then if your file is not readable mode, if it doesn't have permissions, then we can go with the read error it is. And if any network issues and all, we can check into internal error. So these are all the exceptions. Okay. And at the end, we can use this when others than here. So when others than, we should not use in the first list. Here is the place. We should not use when others than in the first list. So it will give a compilation error here. In any case, if you are using any other exceptions other than when others than, then always it must be in the last only, when others than. So this is mandatory question. So if you put, what will happen here is it will give a compilation error. It is compilation error. It will come. Okay. Compile it itself. It will detect. It should not be in the first list. When others than, it should not be in the first list. It is clear. So now what you can do, we'll go one by one. So first here is create or replace procedure. You know already syntax, and this is the name of the file. Now it should not have underscores at all. You need to follow the proper naming conventions. One is client name, I mentioned as a Canon project client. If you want to mention your own client, you can give anything. Now details or pure details also fine. It should have three parts here. One is client name, another one is module name. Okay, module name. Then after that, PO details. So three parts it has. Then these two arguments are mandatorily you need to mention. If you don't mention these two, whenever you are registering into application, it will give a error saying that incorrect arguments. And these are all the parameters. Don't put underscores like this. One is from parameter and other one is okay. Anyway, these are all will be in a hidden mode, no issues. Let it be. Okay. And then if your PO is into alphanumeric, then we have to use varchar2 here. So keep varchar2 here and here also. And all are mandatory. These two are mandatory parameters. That's why I mentioned as in parameter. Mode is in here, and these two are out parameters. In out also will be there, but in out we won't use much regularly. Okay. Now in this you need to remember only this point. Error buff and red code. Error buff means it will give error message, and red code here is it will have a values here. 0 for normal, 1 for warning, and 2 for errors. So I think we already discussed this point in XML publisher, right? Correct. Okay, meantime, just go. So what is the syntax of cursor? Now I think everyone knows, right? Syntax of cursor, cursor declaration. Sureka, cursor name. Correct. So that you can see here. See, cursor name is a select statement. So you can take the select statement here. So there are some old tables are there. I'll just modify it. I could have changed it, but I have not changed. These are all has become a views now, actually. Any other views? Make sure all tables here. Okay. First of all, you execute this query. And after that, you can take a decision. Okay. Query execution is mandatory till here. So I'm not taking any parameters at this moment. I'm giving a data. Approximately 74,000 data is there. And these are all based on P2P cycle, PO format is. Okay. All the tables also you are aware, I know. There's 3 for suppliers table. And this PO address, lines, line locations, distributions, and per all people F. Okay. So these are all where you can see is you can see into purchase order form. Go to purchase order. And here is the place. Purchase orders and purchase orders. Okay, there are some form personalization related issues. I'll disable it. Yeah, you can go to diagnostics, personalize. Some people has done a mistake. I just disabled it. Okay, so no need to delete. Clear? It's open. Okay, without any issues. Now you take one number. This number or anything else. So we don't know, right? Which R gate it is. That R gate is important. This is the record. So now what is the query it is displaying here is PO number it is displaying. Okay, PO number where it is stored here is this number. So this number, if you want to display it, you can go to first record history. So there is a view here. You have to take this view. The second one is column name. Column name you can go with the exam in here. So 501. Now second one is supplier name. Supplier name where you can check. You can go to this column name. Same. Diagnostics, examine. It's a vendor name. That is for a column name it is. But if you want to know the table name, we have to go with the record history. Take this view. Take this view. Then F4. Script here. స్క్రిప్ట్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలంటే అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే లేదు డిస్క్రైబ్ కాదు సెలెక్ట్ స్టార్ ఫ్రమ్ ఇట్స్ a view, right? View is stored into all underscore views, right? Where view name, we need a text here, correct? Instead of star, what you can do, you can take a text underscore view where view name is equivalent to your view name. You can see any gap. This is how you can take it. Full query, yeah, it will give full query. Go with the PL escalator, okay? It has some issue. Oh, just copy this. You can put it into other tab. Okay, paste is not. Is it? Some problem with this data grids. Yeah, now it's okay. So you take this entire query, Shift Control F. So this is how you can get it. Okay. But nowadays everyone is using Toad only. Only rare cases, like if they are not buying this Toad software is just hardly $200, $300. If they don't buy, then they will go with the default software that is a SQL developer. Correct? Or Oracle clients, strictly they will use SQL developer only. Somewhere, I think we have not installed it since here. Okay, it's not there. Okay. Toad everywhere you can see. Got it right? How to see the query? If it is a Toad, what you can do, simply F4. Can click F4, go to script here. And you can check all the tables behind this. You can go here. Come down. You can see here. Go to from class, and here is the place. Tables. Okay. Uh, Here, if you look at here, there are still PO headers all, and then PO vendor sites all this. If you click on this PO vendors, now you can go to script here. Go to from class. So this is the table I replaced. Okay. In R12 latest editions, PO vendors, these are all views actually, but still for backward compatibility, views are there. But you need to use here AP suppliers only. In wherever you want to use supplier, you need to use AP suppliers only. And still there is one more option is also available, that is edged parties. So edged is a human zone here, human zone parties. Expansion is human zone. Supplier is moved into TC architecture. You can use edged parties also. Okay. Then, so as of now, I mentioned only few points. Okay. That is, what is utility file? And in the utility file, so I mentioned only one, that is util file dot f open. We are opening a file into a directory, that is directory, and one more is file name. The next is mode here. So how to identify a directory also I told you. The directory name is available always into one directory, that is v dollar parameter. DBAs will maintain their own paths. Okay? They will create one directory and they will keep over here into which is available into v dollar parameter. So now next is file modes. There are three modes. What are they? One is read mode, write mode, append mode. There are other modes also, but we don't use. Okay. Now next is, so ETL file fopen. Is it a procedure or function? Yeah, that you need to remember clearly. Function it is. Function always it will return a value it is. Okay. As of now, we are still in the cursor only. Cursor declaration we have seen, right? Cursor. Cursor declaration is, here is the place. Cursor name is select statement. Select statement, how we developed? So how we developed it is, there are two things you need to keep in mind. One is, you need to keep in mind is help, record history, get the table name. Actually, it is not a table, it's a view. So, and the second one is, you need to go to diagnostics, examine, check the column names. So all the column names, whatever the query is there here, if you know this query, column names and all, you can finish it in 10 minutes, the entire all columns. You no need to go copy and paste all this. See, by seeing itself, we can tell here. So operating unit table name, no, that is organization, inventory organization. What is the table name for operating unit, guys? No, that is RKD will be there, but operating unit is different. That is HR operating units. So how about type, where you can see contact in which table? AP supplier contacts. How about bill to? That is into TC architecture. If you go with the TC architecture, you can see that. So next one is ship to location. How about item? Item table. Right. How about category? Hmm. UOM? MTL UOM ಅನ್ನೋದಂడి ఒకసారి చూడాలి ఓకేనా price, then this one, what is this, where is line locations boss? It's not showing line locations, correct? It doesn't have actually, so we can create, of course. So this one I'm saying shipments line locations after the distributions. You focus on time. Okay, so if you know all this directly also, you can type it. You don't need to go to help record history, all this. Okay. But first time help record history, there is no option. It may take half day also for you, but next time just hardly 10 minutes. If you have a good typing speed, you can just finish all this into hardly 5 minutes. Simply what you can do, you can start first view headers or table like this. Then next is lines table, PO lines all, PLA. We have to add here join condition, primary key of first table. That's a PO header ID, PLA dot PO header ID. And you need to take a column name. Column name, how to take, I told you here. You need to go to diagnostics examine. Column name is segment 1, PO number. In the same way, suppliers, if you want to add it, AP suppliers. See, I'm not seeing any screen, okay? Because I have developed many times. So what you have to do? Join between these two. What could be the join here? Primary key of this particular table. This one, vendor ID. So if you prepare, you can easily recall. Otherwise, you will not be able to recall. PHA dot vendor ID. So simply typing, hardly 5 minutes is enough to prepare this query. So that practice is required. Okay. So on that day in interview also, we took only 3 minutes, right? The entire O2C query. Anyway. So till now, we are still at 20-30 lines only. These two I already mentioned. Second one is cursor. Cursor name is select statement. So the select statement, how you develop is you have to spend time today, query preparation. So next is here. So this is a variable. This is my own name. XID is my own name. You can take any name. But the type of this is UTL file type it is. I'm not mentioning varchar, date, number, or anything. Okay. We have to use here UTL file type only. Clear? Now this variable I'll come to. I'll come to this variable later. Now go to begin. So in this anonymous block is there here, begin and end anonymous block. Why I took this small block is sometimes we can pass parameters 1000 to 2000, 500 to 800 like that, correct? So at that time it will be overwritten. So we need to attach these parameters to the file. So all file names, if you run 10 times, 10 files will be there. If you don't use, if you mention a static file name here, saying that PO details, if you run 10 times, 10 files, we will not be able to see in the server. So that's the reason why we took here, file name here is dynamic file name. So now write mode, and this path I have not replaced. You have to replace here. Okay. This is the path. In your laptop, it may be different, guys. Based on the server it is. You have to check. Okay. Now, the other one is here, L line. L line is a local variable. If you just go up little, L line. So L line is what it is. It's a varchar 2. This is the width of this particular variable. Initially, it will be null. It doesn't have anything. And this is called as assignment operator. It will have a null value. L line, we assigned a heading for all the columns, heading till here. So till here it is heading only. And delimiter. C delimiter is also a variable. See? So C means character. Character delimiter. And we have assigned a value that is a pipe symbol here. First column, pipe symbol, second column, pipe symbol, like that it is. Instead of pipe, you can take here tilde also like this, or hyphen also, or comma also. Okay. They will let you know about all this. But right now I took a pipe symbol here. Pipe is the column separator, nothing else. So first column, column separator, second column separator, like that. Now, finally, what you are doing, you are printing it into application. That is in the file. For printing, we can use a put line here. So this XID is what it is. XID, if you go, this one, XID. It's a UTL file dot file type variable. The whole syntax I have assigned it to a variable here, xid. Okay. Now next is for loop. For loop syntax everyone knows. For variable in cursor name loop it is. This is a for loop syntax. We kept a count variable because I need to know how many number of records retrieved in this. So that count variable also you can see here, count. So almost all the variables covered, right? This is for UTL file. This is for to maintain number of records. This is for pipe symbol. And this is the file name. File name I took over here. And the new line, I have not used it since. So this is a L line it is. L file name, L line. These 5-6 variables we have covered till now. Okay. Now, after for loop variable, the data will be available into X1 now. This one, X1. X1 dot first column, X1 dot second column, like that we have to concatenate. So we are concatenating with the pipes operator till here. So after that, we are printing it. And once you write all your data, so we have to close the file here. Okay, close it. Now, after closing a file, we have to print it. So how many number of records transferred? What are the parameters? So what is the file name? And then submitted user, who has submitted this? So how to identify submitted user is by using a profile here. fnd profile dot value username. If I am submitting, it will display my name. If you are displaying from your user, it will display your name it is. So how it is maintained here is with the help of the profile. With the profile option, we can get username, responsibility name, application name, everything dynamically. So profile name usually where it will be set it up here is one responsibility is there, system administrator. Here is the place, profile, system. These are all the options. Okay. Now we can go here. And at the end, there are some parameters here, right? Exceptions. So this when others than, as I mentioned, you need to put always at the last year. And exceptions we already discussed. Will be able to tell me what are the exceptions we discussed? Okay. First sequence you have to go. Tell me. Invalid. Before that also operation will be there, right? Just you want to see once, you can see. So all are copy paste only. Okay. Only just this name will vary. Okay. And these are all not your standard PLSQL exception. These are all related to UTL file it is. UTL file related exceptions. If you are developing 10 UTL file programs, all copy paste you can do. You no need to write this. That's it about the outbound. If I ask you what are bullet points in this, so the main things are here is this one. What is the meaning of error buff? What it will do? It will give an error message. And red code, it will have a values here. See, if you look at in the application, you can see here. Time on the other. You can see here. So here is normal, right? Second one is error. This one. If you want to terminate your program with the error state forcefully, it will be in your hand now. So how we have to do here is red code is equal to 2 if you say, then your program will be terminated. And there is one more also warning, correct? Warning it is status. Right now there is no warning related programs. So that's about the red code. Next one is cursor syntax. Next. like util file f open, it will have parameters. The directory must be available into var parameter. Then for loop syntax. Next one is all the points we need to mention. These are all for history. Like what are the parameters you passed, how many number of records retrieved, because user may not know how many records are there. Simply, it's a notepad like, right? So they cannot count manually. Now next is who has submitted, value username, responsibility name, and when it got submitted this program, says date it is. And these are all list of exceptions. Clear? Many times I revised. I know you are feeling bored. So you have to compile this. So how to compile PLSQL program? F5 we have to use. If you press F5, if something goes wrong, it will give here itself. See, warning, compiled with compilation errors. So way to check compilation errors here only. F4 errors. Here end identifier. So starting I changed, but ending I have not changed. See here, name is different, right? So here itself, if there are 100 errors also, it will display here only. F5 and F4. Okay. And clear. Again press F5. Created. So like RDF or like XML publisher, you no need to move this package or procedure into any one of the server. It will take from database. So take this. You can go to system administrator, program, executable, purchasing, PLSQL stored procedure, procedure name. If you are using package name dot procedure name we have to give here. Purchasing. Yeah, if it is XML publisher, you can go with XML. If not, leave it. We have PO number from. So I don't want to create at this moment value set, but usually it will be a value set. So I'm just giving here 1000 mandatory parameter. Till 10 digits it will accept. 2000 required parameter. Why I took parameters here is your program is having two parameters here. Okay. Now save. Do you remember what is the request group name for PO? Request group. Security. Request. Is that correct? Save. Go to purchasing. 1 minute gap here. Type on. So this way you can submit it. So once you submit it, you will have to go to your WinSAP. Correct. It will generate into the particular directory. That path you have to connect it. So take the path first. This path, you need to go to this particular path through WinSAP. Okay. Okay. So Control O, you can use it. Why this control is not working? Then you can directly jump into that particular directory. Okay, it is not working. You need to go to this ORR DB, Oracle VS, all this. First, meantime, see the output. View output, view log or view output, whatever. So it is started, ended. There are no issues. Your output file size is 336 records. And you kept your view output. See, this is the history we mentioned here. We have taken a parameters and the number of records here is 17,000. Submitted user is operations and responsibility is purchasing responsibility. So if you go to this particular directory, physically also you can see the file name here. Okay, so that you can check from your end also. But right now the program is success. Okay, guys, thank you.